Welcome back to the channel. This week we are trying to get this thing knocked out. We ran out of time pre-vacation. This is the Mazda front-wheel drive body. It's Protoform. It's going on a Fortec. Had to be trimmed a little bit big for the front because I think the front-wheel drive cars are 190 and the Fortec is a little bit more than that. But it fits pretty good. Looks good on there. Probably going to get a little colorful with this thing, more so than the owner would like, but his wife will appreciate it. We got the bead locks finally on this thing. Got them done, the new tires. These are the Proline Hyrax 4.19 Class 1. I like the smaller tires. Just like the looks of it. Ain't necessarily a performance thing. I never really talked much about this truck. It's just a Axial S6103 Base Camp. Still has the original ready-to-run servo. It hasn't caused me any troubles yet. I have. If you watched the previous video when we went to the top of High Rock, we twisted in one of the portals, which just seems to be a common problem with these. I got it bound up between two rocks, and I probably should have just let off, but it just twisted it. And I just went back with another stock housing. It's 10 bucks. Did toss the 35 turn and went with a 2300 Fusion Pro. The stock motor was just almost too slow to even walk with. I mean, it's performed fine in a trail or crawling, but I know crawlers aren't supposed to be fast, but this needed a little bit more speed just to be a little bit faster than walking pace. Earlier video, we mounted this body, got it painted up, our billboard for the trail, and I mentioned the wobble action in the back. I had some scrap carbon 45s. I don't know where I got it. This thing's right here, and I just cut them and drilled it and put a little stainless screw and nut on there. I put the fuzzy side of Velcro on. I don't think I'm going to Velcro it to the body because just the risk of pulling the paint off, ripping the body on and off. I think that's just going to be a cushion, and it'll just ride on it. I guess I imagine it'll eventually sand the paint off when it gets dirt in it. But it seemed to fix the wobble problem. Tightened everything up with no need to drill a hole in the body or no need to Velcro both ends of it. Now I'm going to struggle putting the body on. In the future, I'm going to go with some sort of clipless system. I'm going to bring you in a little closer here. As you can see, we're wobbling the whole truck now. Before, these posts are so tall, it was shifting side to side on the bumper like completely. So we got a little bit if you squish it, but that is mucho better. And the front is really cool because it does sandwich in behind the stock bumper. This is the stock Base Camp bumper, and that body fits kind of perfect in there. So we're about ready to take this thing out and scratch it up. But that's not what this video is about. We're going to hang out and we're going to paint this body. Like I say, I'm going to do my videos less instructional and more hang out. And I'll throw a few tips in as we go. If you learn anything or if you have any questions, just comment below. And let's get to taping. Alright, first things first, we're going to do some numbers. I had some cut before I went on vacation. But I did clean up a little bit before we left, and evidently I tossed them, so we're going to cut some more. I thought about doing them on the roof and the doors. I think I'm just going to do the doors. So I'm going to do it on the 3/4 of the front of the door. Yeah, that'll look rally-esque. We're just going to do about 2.25 inch. It'll be number 07, and I think it would look odd centered with it being a 4-door body, and it might look odd centered even in one door. So I figured as far forward it would look cool, and that'll leave room for logos or whatever you want to do on the back. So let's get to cutting some numbers and we'll start this masking. All right, we haven't installed any software in the new computer yet as far as some sign stuff because this thing's still working, and I don't know if I can transfer this to the new computer. I'm looking at getting the new setup completely, so we're just going to use this one until it dies. There's no more that I'm doing. I'm not doing that much. Just used a standard font that I had, tilted it forward like 14 degrees, and I outlined it twice so we can have a number, a color around the number, and then one more color to break up between the body. Chances are I'll get one of them on there crooked, or one of them won't weed right, so I got the option. Always make more. Alright, reverse, since we're going to do it on the inside of the body. I'm just going to use the regular vinyl again instead of the paint mask. I think it's thinner, cuts a little easier to weed, and it doesn't stick super good to the body, so it's easy enough to use for paint mask, and flexible enough. And plus that door is pretty flat, so it's not going to really matter if it's flexible or not. And just waiting on the old potato here to catch up, and we'll get some numbers cut. Oh, there it goes! Look at it go! Surprised it came on this fast. It usually takes me about 30 minutes to even get this thing to come up. I've had this computer for probably, I can't even remember when I bought it. It had to be around 2009, 8, somewhere around there. Hopefully we get something usable out of this. Sometimes when I do a fine line, it's 0.08 inches on the outline, so it's super thin. Sometimes it wads up, so we'll see how it comes out. And let's see if these things will weed out. Alright, there's those 4 appear to be usable numbers. That's one of the centers out of the 0 there. It's stuck to it. That's such a fine line, the blade just catches it and pulls it out. We've got 2 outlines. We got a really thin inner outline and a little bit thicker outline on the outside. That'll help break up if we have a color that just happens to be, because I really don't have a plan. So I just like to leave myself options as I go. I don't really, unless I do have a definitive paint scheme where it has to look like something. We're just kind of winging this. I leave myself options. These two, with a double outline like this, I can use the same color on the body as I do on the number, as long as I got another outline to break it up so they don't all bleed together and gets lost. So we'll get these with some transfer paper, and we'll start to install some numbers. Yeah, painting bodies has gotten a little more aggravating. Seems like the products, I don't know if the bodies have changed, the paint's changed, but I was one of the first in my area to use the Parma Fast Color, and really fell in love with it when it first came out. And something, I don't know if some formulas changed or manufacturers changed, but seems like paint has been hit and miss for the last several years to me anyways. Plus the fact, when I went to work for the Honda aircraft company, that's when I realized I was going blind. Not really blind, but I realized I couldn't see as well as I used to, because I used to paint these bodies and cut super fine stuff without even thinking about it. And one day I had to do a micro measurements class, and I realized I couldn't see the measurements anymore. And it comes along with being 50 years old, I guess. But I'm only 49 and a half, so. Alright, there we go. We're going to do a forward number. I was going to do a block around it, but I think I'm just going to leave the number, just outlines alone. And we'll do some sort of graphic stripe around this. And like I said, with the double outline, I shouldn't have any problem with my colors interfering with herself. So, let's put our thinking cap on and see if we can come up with a paint scheme here. Alright, done a few just rough sketches with my China pen. Little Staboli or Sharpie. That's a Sharpie. Peel off marker. It's just a grease pen. Did a couple sketches on the left and right, and try not to get too complicated, because he was really just going to spray can this body, and wasn't looking for nothing super fancy. But we thought we'd use it for some content, and now I've had it for a month. So been hard to get a chance to get out here and really work on it. We're starting late again tonight. I'm not going to do a lot tonight, but it will be finishing this video. But there's our rough layout. Hard to tell. It's mini truck-esque, tuner-esque. Wanted to have the number kind of in its own little color area. This whole stripe will actually be a two-tone, and then the stripe will go up on the fender, and the whole nose from here down will be that color. Then we'll have body color on the top. So it's a two-tone with a little fancier separation, and all this will be outlined with the pinstripe. So you'll see. We'll go along. I'm not going to get too explaining here. We're just hanging out and painting bodies. We're not going to class today. All right, we got one side lined out. I'm using 1/8 inch or 1/16 inch actually. Adds another element of difficulty trying to pull that super fine line tape. And once we get done, we'll take the 1.5 inch. I got this FBS tape. It's pretty transparent, and we'll just lay it over the orange, and we can see the orange stripe through it. Usually, maybe a better idea. Not a big fan of my Amazon razor blades. They're super thin. They don't even hardly, when you lock them down, they don't hardly lock in good. They're so much thinner width-wise or thickness-wise. And if you get on them just ever so slightly, the tips break off of them. Then they just scratch stuff. So I do not recommend. I don't know what brand they are, but they were Amazon and they were cheap. And you get what you pay for. All right, we're about to wrap this up. We got one more stripe. Then I'll get to put the masking on. Keep taking a break because this YouTubing ain't easy. Sit out here in the silence and talk to yourself. Okay, turn you off and listen to some music for a minute. And we're going to get this last stripe on tonight, and then of course you won't see this because it'll be unedited. Well, it'll be edited out. But it'll be the next day when we come back after we get this stripe on. Again, this is just a hobby. Not trying to make something out. Well, I am trying to make something out of this, but I'm not going to invest a ton of money and time. Well, I am investing quite a bit of time. Even though my editing doesn't show that. It's pretty basic. Like I said, I'm doing everything on my phone. So hopefully the GoPro will be in the future, and we'll be able to get some different camera angles and get a little more time to, well, take a little more time to do some better quality editing. There's our last fine line stripe on the hood. We're pretty, it's pretty equal. Again, this is all done by hand. There's nothing measured. It's all done by eye. Just kind of eyeballed it. Just trying to get things to flow. You come back, we'll have some tape on this thing, and we'll be ready to spray some paint. So I'll see you in a minute, but it'll be tomorrow. All right, I lied. It's not tomorrow, even though it's been like a split second for y'all. It's still the same night for me. We got all the masking on. Now you can see a paint scheme with the colors on there. Welcome back. Well, I shouldn't say welcome back. It's the same video, isn't it? Get off my hose. It's the next day for me. Decided to not really add another stripe. I am going to do the carbon fiber roof to help break it up. And our main body color is going to be teal. Now let's scoot you in a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna do it teal. I'm gonna take 2 different shades of teal and do a little fade, and then all the other colors are still up in the air. Just we're gonna go and see where it takes us. No plans. It's Thursday in my world. It's Sunday in YouTube land. Hopefully, this is a Sunday video and it's all done. Had another event-filled day in the body shop. Painted about 5 jobs today. Went and looked at the new shop to check on the status of it. It's coming along pretty good. Still a little slow. Just all that technicalities, I guess, that goes along with building a new place. It's not mine. I'll be working there. Don't make you think like I'm opening the shop. I'm not. It's my job. We're just moving to a new facility soon. Okay, what's going on here? We need some air. We're going to take the darker teal, and I'm going to outline a lot of the graphics. That'll create a kind of a natural blend between the 2 teals. Give a kind of a candy effect, possibly. Go around the windows. Not really a drop shadow per se, but it kind of gives the effect, but trying to create a candy look without using candy. I'm hoping that there's enough distinction between these 2 teals that you'll notice it. It should be. This one's quite a bit bluer than what I'm going to use. It's the body color. I'm going to do 1 or 2 little white coats. Try not to make our, still want our graphics to be a distinct fade within the graphics. Yeah, I might better stop there before I get too carried away. Oh, let me drop it on the floor first. There's our initial fade around the windows, around the graphic, and around the roof. That'll make all the 2 colors will actually look a little candyish once they're all blended together. Here's the difference between the 2. You got it very much bluer and a lot greener. This is an old bottle. They're actually labeled the same, so I probably tinted this many years ago and forgot what I did to it, so it's got a lot more blue in it. Because they're both fluorescent teal. And, wait a minute. Yep, both fluorescent turquoise. This isn't made anymore. This is old Parma. I did buy the rack from Anderson RC, and I got the remaining old stock that was on the machine, or on the rack. I keep saying machine because that's what we have at the body shop. We have paint machines. I'm not going to clean my gun real good between colors because since I'm blending it, we're going to kind of have a natural blend between the 2. I'm just going to give it a little bit of water. Rinse it out. I'm not going to try to clean it. This is new old stock right here. I got some of this stuff that's probably 20 years old and it's still usable. As long as it never freezes or gets too hot. I hadn't had any issues with it. I had more issues with the new paint than I do my 20-year-old paint. Started using fast color in about 90, I guess it was 98 or 99-ish, I think. And it was a learning curve then. because we always use that Pactor lacquer, which is very toxic, but some of the best RC paint that ever was. It shouldn't take much to do this blend. I like to leave it wet. I leave my darker color wet, and then I put the lighter color over it. That'll help all of it blend together. It'll actually melt together, and you won't really see the overspray. You'll just see the different colors, like so. May not be showing up real good on the camera because the lighting in here is not the greatest for filming. But if you can see this in person, you got a little greenish here. You got a little green fade in the door. Of course, the hood has got a green fade with the blue-ish edges. Yeah, looks pretty cool. It keeps a two-color paint job, but it makes it a little more interesting. I'm not blowing directly on it with heat. Just trying to get air moving across it. I have to edit this out. You don't want to watch this for 10 minutes. I'm going to start over. All right, that's just one coat. We're going to put, looks like we're just going to need 2. And then I'm going to back this with silver. And then we'll proceed to figure out what we're going to do with the rest of it. I'm not sure yet. Although silver would look pretty cool around the edges, but yeah, we'll see. These teals have really good coverage, but they're still transparent. That's why I'm definitely going to have to back it up. And backing it up with a bright silver will make it pop pretty good. This is a pearlescent color. Yeah, that's enough. We'll clean this a little bit this time versus the last time because we're going to jump to silver as a backer. Water-based paint, cleaning with water, nothing fancy here. Well, I learned a lot in like 5 minutes. I watched Cletus the other day. You've seen my Cletus video. We actually just went to the track and they happened to be filming, and to see their reactions and the way they're acting, I guess that's what makes a YouTube star. Everything's got to be 110% and blow your mind and all that, but it was cool seeing it from behind the scenes on a private event. We weren't We weren't invited. We just showed up. Didn't know he was actually going to be there, and just to see it firsthand, they're just overreacting and just everything's wow, and I guess that's just not my personality. I'm just me sitting in my chair in my garage after work, painting the body. All right, we're gonna blow this thing dry, and then I'll back it with silver, and then I'll bring you back once we do something different here. All right, we got the silver sprayed on here. Just backed it up. I'm going to do the carbon fiber roof, so we'll go ahead and do that. And he's a fan of dark or black windows, so it kind of makes sense on this car because the rear window, the body mounts are showing, there's really nothing to see. Although I'm not going to black out the windshield, I'm going to do the actual window frame and leave it black, and then leave the windshield itself clear. So we're just going to kind of eyeball it with the mold lines that are in the body. It's a little bit tricky. It just takes a little bit of patience and practice to do this. And it's not going to be, 1000% computer perfect, but if you just follow the lines that are molded in the body, 9 times out of 10, it's going to look good enough. Like so. Oh, voila. There's the trim for the windshield. The rest of it, we're not going to trim it. We're actually going to paint the glass, so that's even super easier. Just pull the mask out. I'm just doing this now because I really don't know what I'm going to do with the graphic yet. I'm not sure what color we're going to do. But I know the glass is going to be black. The roof's going to be carbon fiber. And I think we're going to do one of the outlines around the number. We're going to do the outside outline in black. That way it don't... we'll do the inside outline the color of the fine line tape that we have on here. And that'll keep all the colors separate, but it'll tie everything together. The black around the number on this teal will pop pretty good. It'll make the number stand out. Again, doesn't look that impressive on camera yet. This gets tricky pulling these lines. If you get a lot of material in here, if you're doing a lot of colors, because the cut line is almost invisible anyways. You get a bunch of paint on it and then you lose it altogether. Simple enough. We still have our inside of the 0 and the outline around the 0 and the 7, so that's going to work out good. I'm not peeling the roof off yet because I should have done it first. I got a little backwards. To do the carbon fiber, we've got to spray silver first and then do the black. But once we get all the windows black, it won't be no problem to do the silver then black again. We just took a step forward to go a step back. But it'll all work out. What you get for painting on the fly. Sometimes you jump ahead and what Bob Ross say? It wasn't a mistake. It's just happy mistakes or design changes or something like that. We'll paint a happy little tree over here. Take it easy on the black so we can get it dry fast. There's your black windshield, black doors, or the black numbers. It's safe to spray the black over the teal at this point because we do have 2 different colors of teal here and we backed it with silver, so it's pretty safe. It's not 100% opaque because if you shine the light over it or through it, it's still transparent, but there's enough there to it won't show through. At least I hope not. We done painted the roof in the wrong order, so that might screw up too. For the most part, this body is the opposite of anything that he would want, but his wife ought to like it. I think the only thing he's going to approve of is back the black windows. That's okay. It's going to look cool. It's not very manly. That's okay. All right, we got the mask peeled off of the roof. It kind of worked out. I'm going to do a little shadow around the inside edge. That way it don't look like just a carbon fiber decal stuck on the roof. That'll set it apart from the wrap. It'll be painted. It won't have that sticker look to it. So I'm going to dust a little black around the edges. Just enough to make it set it apart from a typical decal or a wrap. Because if it was a wrap, you'd have carbon fiber edge to edge. There you go, kind of ghosted, framed it in, I'd say. Dry that real quick. All right. Now, if you haven't seen the carbon fiber trick, you haven't researched it. This is basically a toolbox liner, or you can get these at Lowe's in large sheets to put under your rugs on a hardwood floor to keep the rug from scooting around. It's just foam, and it's cut, well, it's molded in these little square pattern, checker pattern. I've been doing this since like 2007. I did it on a truck hood on my real full-size truck, and everybody was pretty convinced it was a carbon fiber hood back in 07 on my S10, and nobody made a carbon fiber hood for them. Yeah, you had to go to Lowe's to get the big one. They got like a 4x8 sheet of it for a rug. Typically, your drawer liner is only going to be like 12 inches by like 2 feet. And if you want to do a full-size car, you have to get the hardwood floor version. But super simple. As you can tell, this one's been used several times because it's beige in color, but it's got gray and green and all kinds of stuff on it. That's a scrap piece from one of my larger sheets. And you don't want to get crazy spraying your gray, or you could do any color if you want to coordinate your colors. And you want red carbon on a red card, and you just spray some metallic red through it and spray black over it, and bingo bango, you got red carbon, or blue, whatever you want to do. Spray candy over it, or if you sprayed candy on that roof first and then did your gray or silver carbon, you'd have a candy colored carbon fiber. So endless options on the carbon fiber front there. Be creative. There's no rules. Do your own thing, whatever makes you happy. Stuff like that. Works best on flat surfaces. When you get it on a curve or something, it kind of bunches up and you get wrinkles and it don't look right. So I have not mastered doing this over a curved surface. That would require cutting this in vinyl, and I can't imagine weeding 10 million little squares out of vinyl, especially if you're doing like a full-size car or a motorcycle or something like that. We have stretched it over a tank before, and it takes 2 people to hold it, or somebody to hold it while you spray it, because it don't take but 2 seconds to spray it, because you don't want to get crazy spraying it either. You know, a slight little trying to fold here, but I think it's going to be okay. There's what we got, just laying in the roof. And very minimal, just a quick dusting of whatever your desired color. I can't stop talking tonight. It's been a long day. So yeah, whatever your desired color is, I try to make mine kind of minute, kind of understated, so you have to kind of see it to know what's there. But any kind of color, any kind of metallic color with black over it is going to be pretty noticeable. So, hopefully I don't blow it onto it. Okay, here we go. Is it even spraying? Yes. I might have been a little strong on that one, but and you are not going to see this on camera. Maybe you will. See a faint checker pattern. Probably could have done that a little bit stronger, but it's going to be kind of ghosty carbon, I guess. Because once you move it, there ain't no putting it back on and lining it back up. Which that could create a cool effect too. If you kind of shifted them around, you'd have like a woven look. It might look like a woven basket or something. If you were precision enough to line them up opposing themselves. But we're not going to do that tonight. Again, I'm not going to worry about cleaning my gun out from the gray to the black because it's already metallic black at this point with the gray on there. And in order not to contaminate my black bottle, I'll just put a couple of drops in here, just enough to paint the roof. So I don't put it back in the bottle. You don't want to do that when your whole bottle is metallic. It don't take but a drop. Alright. This will be a lot more noticeable once we peel the film off at the end here. I'm going to put a light coat of black over most of the body here, where our graphics are going to be. And there's my compressor! Alright, before we were rudely interrupted with the air compressor, I think we're going to go with not to go all bright colors, we're going to go with a charcoal on the bottom. It's similar to what I did with his 350 or 370Z body. If you watch that video, there's a candy green and charcoal body. I was going to do all bright fluorescence and stuff, and I know his wife would love it. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a happy compromise. We're going to do charcoal on the bottom with a little bit of black drop shadows. That'll tie in with the carbon fiber roof and the black outline around the numbers. And then we're going to do all this orange. We'll do that in a hot pink or a hot magenta. So there's the happy compromise. We're still going to have some neon action. We're going to spray a little black shadow here. This is totally unnecessary. You could accomplish this paint job, the same paint job with the spray can. You just wouldn't have the option of doing a couple shadows. Now blending and fades with a spray can get a little bit difficult because you don't have the narrow pattern. Damn, it's cleaning, I believe. Yeah, that's getting annoying. Hard to do a shadow when it wants to go full throttle or nothing. That might be a little better. Yeah, I think we just had a little buildup on the end of the needle. Alright, I didn't want to do that much. But it is what it is now. Didn't want to get crazy with the black. I wanted to leave it kind of subtle, but one burp out of the airbrush and you got black. Still looks cool though. I like it. I like it. I've had a bit of trash in it and it just started flowing really good all of a sudden. Okay, okay. Go down there. Yeah, I think we got a chunk blowed out. Oh yeah. It's a little stronger than I wanted it, but it's going to look alright. It's still going to have the effect. You'll see this once it's unwrapped. We're actually going to clean the gun this time, so we don't make this gray any darker than it needs to be. This is just some silver and black mixed together, nothing special. Just kind of tinted it till I liked the shade. I didn't want it too close to black. I wanted it to be distinct. So we'll try that. Hang on just a second. All right, we got all the fine line pulled off. We got the line around the numbers pulled off. No, I'm not stressing out and drinking some Pepto. This is the color we're going to go with. It's almost like a neon bubble gum. I discovered this on Coast Airbrush's website. They got all the Createx colors listed. And this is just fluorescent magenta, but it looks like bubblegum to me. And I think that'll make this graphic pop. It would look good with the silver. It would look good with blue. It would look good with green. I think blue might get lost around the edges, though, where I did the more blue teal. But we'll have a pink splitter, pink pinstripes, pink around the numbers, pink around the carbon fiber on the roof. And I think it'll make it pop pretty good. My new favorite color. Look at that. Like most fluorescents, just light coats. You don't want to hammer it on there. Kind of like spraying candy, you want to get it even. It's not hard to get it even on a pinstripe like this. That's not even going to come into play here. Like when we did the crawler body, if you watch that, painted the whole body fluorescent. I'm calling that Guru Green. It's basically fluorescent yellow with about 10% or less, maybe like 5% of neon green mixed in with it just to green it up. A little more critical when you're doing a larger area, but these pinstripes don't take much at all. Bam! That number looks really good, even with the gray vinyl still on there. But I think we're going to do the number white, because we got to back everything with white anyways. We got to back the pink with white. So get a couple more coats on there, then we'll peel off the number and get this thing backed up. Oh my Lanta, brother. That's my Cletus impression. We got the white on here. We got it backed up. We backed all the pink up. We didn't do the headlights yet. getting kind of late in the evening. I'm going to have to let this thing sit. We don't get much time to work on it in the evening after work. I'm going to let it set overnight because we're going to have to do a little more masking on here. And I don't want to put masking tape or the vinyl over top of fresh paint. That would be a mess, potentially. I hope this fade come across on the camera good, because you really don't see the gray so much, but it'll really show once we get it unwrapped. And the carbon fiber turned out really cool, I think. It's very faint. That's what I wanted. And if you haven't subscribed, now would be a good time. We are shooting for 1,000, just 1,000. I know a lot of guys are trying to get that million or 100,000 or whatever it is. We're just trying to get 1,000 by the first of the year. We're at 642 when I recorded this. Appreciated everybody that has come along. I know a lot of friends have been pretty loyal watchers. I appreciate every one of y'all. Just trying to make something out of this. We're not trying to be a super channel. We don't have the funds or the equipment. I'm doing all this with my phone by myself. I know mini trucks are my bigger audience. Hopefully we'll get to some shows. We are going to a car show in the next 2 weeks. We're going to take about 5 trucks with us. It's not a mini truck show, but we're going to try to have a mini truck section anyways. We're going to 4 or 5 deep, going to roll in there. We'll have that video up in probably be 3 weeks, 2 weeks maybe, if all goes well, weather cooperates and all that good stuff. I got another little mini truck cruise, local cruise I'm thinking about trying to organize. So yeah, there'll be more mini truck stuff, not just RC and RC paint stuff. Maybe some more paint at work, although that's not getting a lot of views. But if I get 2 views or 5 views, that's views. So we appreciate every one of them. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed and come back tomorrow. We'll finish these lights up and we'll wrap this body up and we'll wrap this video up. And we'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back. It's another day. It's Friday in my world, Sunday in Guru's world. We're going to finish this body up tonight. This video has been running a little long. Appreciate y'all hanging around. Anyway, we're going to paint the headlights in it, like I said. Simple little trick. You don't have to have a plotter. This is a little Dubro circle cutter or compass or whatever you want to call it, but it has a needle on one end or a point and then a blade on the other and a measure. That's the diameter of your circle. And I got a little happy there and cut that one a little deep, but just put it on there just like you would anything else, and you can cut up to, I think, up to like a 7-inch circle. But that would, we're down here just cutting some of these, and we did 4 headlights, and we're just going to do a little airbrushing. It could get a little more detailed and add the corner marker lights and stuff, but we're not going to get super detailed with them. But I do want to do a halo ring around the outer headlight, and the inner headlight will just be bright white, and we'll do some shadowing, and let's get this thing done. Enough talking, more work. All right, I just took some black and did a little shadowing. Can't really see it in the camera too good. It just looks black. But we did a little shadowing around each bulb or the light, however you want to consider that, and went up in the edges to make it look a little more depth on the light. So now I'm going to spray some silver, and then we'll pull out the halo. We'll spray the halo. I think I'm going to do the halo in pink to match the stripes, and then the lights will be bright white. All right, I got the silver sprayed, and then I backed it with gray so the pink wouldn't shine through where we spray the halo. That wouldn't be the worst thing ever if it did come through and bleed a little bit, or if it blended in with a little bit. It would add to the effect, I think, of a soft glow of a LED light. That little circle there we pulled out, that's going to be our halo for our headlight. And we'll spray that, and I believe we'll do the wing pink, so we'll do the wing and the lights together, trying to combine things to get these steps moving a little faster. This video is super long. I didn't mean to be an hour or so. I hope I can upload it. It's always a pain because I'm doing this with my phone. Anyway, I gotta quit talking, taking up more space. All right, we got the pink sprayed. I got the wing sprayed. Unfortunately, with these wings, there's just not an easy way to paint them. I'm going to have to back it in white just because the pink's so transparent, which it'll add to the white on the numbers, so you'll have a pink wing with a white base, and that'll tie the white numbers in. Body would look probably pretty good with white wheels. Anyway, we pulled the masking out in 2 circles. And we'll take black again and just very on the edge right there. Just it'll push the lights back and give it a little more 3D effect. Again, you could get as detailed as you want. You could go in and cut the mask for turn signals and you know, it's endless. Just depends on how much time you want to spend on it. And yeah, it's easier just to put a sticker on it and be done. But you got a little added element if you actually paint the stuff on. Probably not easy to see in the camera, but ever so slightly helps give it a little more 3D effect. We're not going for concourse competition here. I'm moving pretty quick through it. The USTE build, that's going to be a mini truck. It's in the plans anyways, planning stages. That body will be a very in-depth paint job, plus I'll have to build an interior. I don't have a 3D printer, so I'll probably be making it out of styrene. So, all that's in my brain. I just got to make it happen now. Still got a few months before that happens. Drop of white. I might need a little more because I got to back the wing up. All right, there's our HID headlights. Pretty cool. Not truly scale, but just the added element of being painted versus a sticker. And you can tie your color in with your little halo, so that looks pretty cool, I think, for a quick paint job, even though it's taken us 4 nights and an hour-long video to do. Back this wing up to white. And then body will be complete minus the film and some decals. Alright guys, that's a wrap. Speaking of wraps, we're going to peel this film off. You're seeing this body at the same time as the owner. They're seeing it on video because they don't know anything about it. And hopefully it's a little bit of a surprise. A little compromise between the wife and husband. He's more of a dark color. She's more of the bright colors. So it's a good combination. And significance of the 07. That's their son's birthday. So I thought that would be pretty cool on there. Couldn't be a better number. Most satisfying part of painting a body is peeling this film off and seeing your work come to life. There we go. Carbon fiber roof. I don't know if that's coming through. There you go. A little light shining on it. Our custom one-off headlights with the halo. It'll really come together once you put the grill sticker in. The wing is going to be hot pink to match the stripes. Once he gets the body back and gets it completed, I'll put a post on my community wall, and we'll have a picture of the whole car finished. But there you go. Sorry for the long video, but I appreciate y'all watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Got any questions? Feel free to ask. But there we go. Front wheel drive body for a Fortec. Thanks.